Well, firstly, Cathaoirleach, I suppose it's a day of new beginnings, departures, farewells, and other people who will be, as I say, packing up by choice, other people that may be packing up but hoping to come back. So whatever road you take, I want to wish you well and success. I want personally to thank you, Cathaoirleach, for your work over the last few years and the way you've conducted this Seanad. I think it's exemplary and it shows of your parliamentary experience, and I want to acknowledge your work. I want to thank the leader who can't be here today and the deputy leader who can't be here today. Clearly they're involved in another election. I particularly want to thank Ola Murray, who supports them and who supports the staff who function and run this House and put together the order papers and all the documents that go with it. I want to thank the Seanad Clerk Martin, particularly Martin. His calm and sure and steady hand on the proceedings of this House, I think, is never in doubt, and to Bridget and all his staff and all his background staff. I particularly want to thank the stenographers, the sound people. I want to thank all the backup team. I particularly want to thank the captain of the guard and the ushers who play an exceptional role in the conduct and the swift running and professional running of this House. And of course, I don't want to forget the caterers and the gardeners and all the other staff that feed and manage us in this place. It's really important. I also want to acknowledge the work of Peter Finnegan and the Commission and how they run this House in not always an easy task. And there were many controversies and many setbacks, particularly in the last year, in relation to the conduct of members of this House, not this particular House, but the houses of the Oireachtas. They have to take an awful lot of flack on behalf of an awful lot of people. And there are many cases, the unsung heroes of the constant civil service that keep this institution and establishment going. And I think it's important that they're acknowledged, and they're acknowledged here today. I suppose when I came in here, I tried to summarise for myself, nobody else, what did we actually do here in the last few years? And I think the best thing we did here, or the best thing I did, because I can only speak for myself, is the power of soft power, what soft power means. And as senators, we have an opportunity to shine a light in many dark places, to bring many issues to the table of these houses of the Oireachtas, to negotiate and mediate and share our concerns with government ministers, which we meet on the corridors, with Dáil deputies who we have an opportunity to meet with. I think that's really important. I particularly want to acknowledge the importance of the Joint Oireachtas committees and the power and influence that we can do and play within those committees. And I think if I was to leave here today and never come back, the greatest contribution for me personally and my work was through the Joint Oireachtas Committee of Housing, Planning and Local Government, of which I was a member of. I found it both fulfilling, I was happy there, I was valued there, and I believe, like all the members there, we made a contribution. And at that point, I want to acknowledge and I want to thank the three ministers responsible for that department who actively negotiated and kept in touch. And they are, of course, Minister Murphy, Minister English and Minister John Paul Phelan. They were active in their work in that committee, and I think it's important we acknowledge them. Yes, there are limitations on the Seanad, and I think we all accept that. But we did have the possibility and the opportunity to bring a soft power, to bring our unique experiences and our diversity to the deliberations of this House. And I think we all played our role based on our experience, and that has to be acknowledged. I want to also thank the press. We get a lot of bad press, but the press have a job to do too. They have a story to tell too, and they too have to turn a light on many a shady space and many a dark corner, and I think on the whole they have served the Oireachtas well. And so finally, I want to just thank what I think is one of the greatest services in this House that perhaps we underestimate, and that is the Oireachtas Library and Research Team, the dedicated group of people that many times we never see, but we can ring up and call upon to provide independent, validated research and support for our work as Oireachtas members. And I could not let the opportunity go without particularly thanking them for the enormous support that they give each and every one of us. So to those of you who seek re-election to this House, I wish you well. I'll be one of them. For those who are retiring, I wish you well and hope you'll stay in contact. And more importantly, may we support and encourage younger people and new people to come into both houses of this Oireachtas. This is a noble profession. It may be a difficult one from time to time, but let's be advocates for Parliament. Let's be advocates for politicians. Let's be advocates for lawmakers and support people in our communities into the future to come and take seats and places in both houses of the Oireachtas. And finally, I want to say thank you to the independent councillors that I've had the pleasure of leading for the last few years. We are very different, we are very diverse, but we have used our talents to the best of our ability, and I hope and I believe we have made an impact, as are the other independent group in this House. The contributions they have made has been exceptional, and one of the great things about this House is that it allows not only the parties, but it allows the independents to get elected to this House and to be valued and to make a contribution. And I am confident, as I stand here today, that there will be many, many new independents, and some of us, the old ones, back in this House, making the same contribution into the future. Thank you.